everyone, it's Cindy and welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. Today's video is a replay of Feel Good Friday that took place on the 27th of October over on my Facebook page, and every Friday I do a live video and a lot of the time I interview people. This time I was lucky enough to be able to interview Nicky Harverson, who lives not that far from me, but she did an amazing challenge. She cycled single-handedly from John O'Groats to Land's End in 13 days, and her story is amazing, it's inspirational, and she shares lots of tips in our interview today. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, then just keep watching. Good Friday, and today I'm so lucky to be talking to the lovely Nicky Harverson about her amazing adventure. She cycled from John O'Groats to Land's End on her own completely, just her bike and her pannier. I mean, it's an amazing journey. She's going to be talking about all of that and more in just a second. But first of all, in case I haven't met you yet, my name's Cindy Davis and I'm the Feel Good Coach, and I work with my clients to help them find out where they might be holding themselves back and help them clear that out really quickly and easily. And I'm also starting to help other life coaches to build their businesses too, with all the experience that I've gained building mine. So that's me, and so let's not waste any time. We've got lots to cover with Nicky today, so let's get into it. I'll bring her on now. Hi Nicky.
Hi Cindy, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's lovely. Thank you for coming on. I'm really excited to hear all about your journey. I watched some of your Facebook lives and I've read some of your blogs, but you know, to get it from the horse's mouth is going to be amazing. So I'm really excited.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to sharing my journey. It was, I mean, obviously I know it was incredible because I did it. It was an incredible achievement for me. But yeah.
I said to you at the time, didn't I, when you were preparing to go, I can't even believe you would say you wanted to do this. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, I kind of had that. I had to believe it myself. So I had to in telling everybody what I was doing, I was also telling myself that I was doing it. So it's almost giving yourself that confidence boost that, yeah, I'm going to ride.
Yeah,
189 miles in 13 days.
Amazing. Just before we get into it, I just want to say good morning to Carol and to Sam, who have joined us this morning in the comments. That's brilliant. Thanks for that. We will obviously be interacting with you, so do please take part. Okay, so Nicky, before we get into the full story, tell us a bit about who you are and what you do.
Thank you very much. Well, as you know, my name is Nicky Harverson. My business is My Fit Life Coaching, and I'm a bravery coach. So I help my clients live their brave and beautiful lives, to take on the challenges that they set for themselves, and really just sort of step into being the person they want to be. It doesn't have to mean an amazingly physical challenge like the one that I did. But most people do want to address their fitness and being more active in what they do. So yeah, I am a qualified life coach, but I'm also a qualified cycling coach. So I'm a British cycling level 2 coach. So, you know, I kind of do understand all the kind of technical components about coaching on the bike as well. So yeah, so that's what I do.
Amazing. So tell us a bit, let's get into that. I want to know all about your journey. So tell us about your adventure. What do you actually do?
Well, so it actually didn't set out to be solo at first. I was kind of a reluctant solo traveller. I started with going, wouldn't it be great to ride from one end of the country to the other? Started, talking to a few friends about it, and there was interest, but of course it takes a lot of time to train. And of course, you're going to take the whole 2 weeks out. There's a cost involved. And it really isn't just the 2 weeks. You want to rest afterwards. And so it became apparent that, you know, as I talked to my friends, that it wasn't going to be possible for them to do it with me, the kind of the time thing. And so I sat there one day with my husband and went, what if I just did it on my own? And the moment it came out, the moment I realised it was absolutely the right thing to do, because I wanted to do it. It was something burning inside of me to do, and yeah. So it came out. What if I did it alone? And then from that point on, I just started planning it. But of course, when you do it alone, there's a whole other kind of set of activities that come along with that. Not only are you training solo, you're obviously going to be riding it solo. You've got to get over the fear of being on your own in the middle of nowhere in Scotland in the pouring rain, trying to fix a puncture. That was my big fear. But you also have to do all the logistics as well yourself. So planning the route, knowing that the route that you're going to go on, you're going to feel safe on. And then also planning all of the where you're going to stay and where you're going to eat and, you know, all of those kind of logistics. So I realised that going alone isn't just about riding it alone. It's actually about doing everything else, you know, beforehand. So I set out with, asking so many questions of people who'd already done it. My husband had done it as well. He'd done it in a group a couple of years before. So, you know, I looked at all their maps and plans. And then I started to talk to other people who were soloists and reading their kind of journeys and kind of just talking to them, really. There's a great Facebook group. And I just kind of, just got involved and just started asking, you know, what you would call those stupid questions and getting all the answers that I needed to kind of plan it. And I think initially those first few months, I didn't really think about the solo bit. I just got stuck into the organising bit. My background's a project manager, so I kind of love a spreadsheet and a plan. So I got busy with all that. And obviously the training side. So again, you know, being a cycling coach, I kind of knew what I needed to do and how many miles, what time I needed to be on the bike, all that kind of stuff. And I think it was about the February time. I went in May. It was about the February time that I went, I'm doing it alone. And had a real wobble about being on my own. Because at that point, obviously, I couldn't see the solo bit. So I think it was that February time that I had that real wobble of, this is real now. And I think we probably spoke at that time, and I was doing that very much, braving it, you know, that outward bravery of, it will be fine. Yeah. And then secretly going away going, oh my God, no. But, you know, you get over that.
Right.
I had a friend of mine sent me a lovely message that said, you have to become the person who can. And that was about February, and that really carried me. It really sort of gave me back that this is what I tell my clients, and it really gave me back that I'm just going to become that person who can. And so I started doing things that enabled me to practice being the person who could. So the training sort of took on a different meaning at that point, and it was really good.
It's amazing, and it sounds like what it must have given you is even more tools for clients.
Incredibly so. That feeling of having to get through a barrier of your own confidence. And I'm a fairly confident person. I think I would probably say I'm a very confident person, both outwardly and inwardly. But this was a step outside my comfort zone that I perhaps wasn't as ready for in February as I thought I might be. And that's the thing, it's the thoughts that actually count. And I was playing with them. And actually they were playing with me, but not in a nice way. And so I really knew that I had to be kind to myself. I had to start to see the thoughts for what they were. I had to really kind of, I guess, rather than grapple with them, work with them with kindness. And it's really where my gratitude practice took root. I mean, I do this gratitude, bookend my day with gratitude, you know, every day. But I didn't really know what it meant until I started to do something like this and realised how much that gratitude was ingrained in me and how it helped my thought processes. And that was immense. So now when I talk about gratitude with my clients, it's so much easier because I really get it. I get what it does and how it can help. So yeah, very much.
And as coaches, for us, that's the most important thing, is being able to really understand what we're trying to get our clients to do and actually to walk the walk and talk the talk, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. I wouldn't want to, I guess as a coach, you can't go somewhere with a client if you haven't been there already. And I think that for me it helped me so much to go there for me, that now I know I'm quite comfortable to go there with others, and be in that place of complete self-doubt and overwhelm, and bordering on tears some days for me. But I know that dark space. So yeah.
Brilliant. So tell us about some of the challenges that you faced on your journey.
Yeah, so I haven't actually talked about the journey, have I? So I set off from John O'Groats on the 18th of May, and it took me 13 days. And you kind of think it might be sort of the latter stages of the journey were the hardest, but actually it was day 3, and I call it my messy middle. Oh, and I was in bits. And it started so slowly. It started with just that one thing that went wrong at the hotel, trying to pack the bags and things wouldn't fit, and it just little things just kept going on and on throughout the day. I got lost in Inverness. It started to rain. I was getting cold. Then I started going over Loch Ness, and that was really where it all started to, where the wheels started to come off, metaphorically speaking. And I remember being at, so it's quite a lonely road actually along Loch Ness, and the weather had come in. It was quite misty and rainy. I'd had some lunch, but I wasn't feeling very comfortable. I needed to go to the toilet. Of course, there was nowhere to go. So I was dealing with all these kind of both physical, but also seriously emotional kind of issues. And I remember pedaling up. It was like a switchback, so it goes round on yourself. And it was just hard. And I got to the top, and I sat in this cafe. Well, I went into the cafe. It was a really busy place. And I sort of stood there and went to order my apple pie and my milk. That was my food of choice for afternoon tea. And this wonderful person came up to me and started chatting. She'd seen me climb the hill. She told me how brilliant I was, how wonderful I was. But I wasn't in a space to receive kindness, because I was in a space of absolute, that darkness. And I sort of choked it back and held it and thanked her, and then she gave me some money, because I did it for charity. She gave me some money, and I was just holding it in on the edge. I thanked her. She walked away, and I sat down in the cafe, and I was there, and it was just silent tears. And I was in this busy place, this buzzing, bustling place, and I was just crying silent tears. And that was the start of that day, and it got worse, but then it got better. But it was that was my messy middle. That day 3 was a really, really tough day. So lots of highs and lots of lows.
Yeah. So for you guys watching live, can you identify with any of that sort of feeling where you start off a day and you just start going wrong, and you just start to feel worse and worse, and the thoughts take over? Let us know if you've ever experienced that, and if you're watching on the replay, also let us know, because we'll come back and join in the conversation with you. That sounds an incredible challenge. And then, so was it that kind of just pick yourself up and get on with it kind of thing that you did? What did you do? Yeah,
so you have to kind of, I call it changing my shorts. So the day carried on, and I got to another peak, and I had another emotional moment that I do talk about, and that's one of the ones you might have seen actually on the YouTube clips, because that sort of me shouting at the mountains that I am enough, that happened after the cafe. And then I think I just kind of got over the top of that mountain, and it was a metaphorical and physical getting over the top of the mountain, that I sort of took a deep breath and went, I've got to change how I think about today, because if I don't, it's going to be like this all day. And so I just very slowly gave myself permission. So gratitude comes. And it was, it could be anything. It was a bird flying past just gave me that sight of something else that was with me. Or it could have been, obviously there's lots of animals by the side of the road. They just saw a few deer. But it was just looking around and looking up just gave me that different perspective. And the moment you notice that, and you go, I'm really grateful I saw that bird. That was beautiful. I wouldn't have seen that if I wasn't here. And so I am here. I would thank my legs. I would thank my legs for being powerful enough to keep going, even when my head and my heart wanted to stop. And so that's really that true gratitude of, you know what, I'm in my hardest, darkest place, but there is still something to be grateful for. And so, yeah, that was that point of changing your shorts and going, just going to change my perspective right now and you know, enjoy it for what it is. And just like anything, once you climb the top of the mountain, you have a beautiful downhill afterwards. And so, you know, it was embracing that downhill and freewheeling for a bit, you know, letting the wind go through your hair and just kind of like, yeah, that's what I needed.
That's amazing. What was the best thing about the whole journey? I mean, I know there's probably loads of highlights, but can you pick one thing that was the best thing?
Oh, do you know, a lot of people ask me this, and I can quite easily actually. It's the people that you meet along the way. So going solo doesn't mean you're actually alone. And that sounds really bonkers, but I don't know if you've noticed, I'm rather a chatty person. I would get to any cafe stop or the pub, you know, by the hotel or B&B at the end of the evening, and I would just find people to talk to. But I would sort of obviously ask them about what they were doing, about the surrounding areas. And so conversation became my constant companion. And being able to just talk to people along the way was beautiful. And actually meeting all these different people were just, you know, that just gave me, that was the journey, actually. That was the journey. And, you know, I've met so many amazing characters, and they helped me in so many ways. Sometimes very much I had to ask for help, you know, is there a better way of doing this? And yes, go down this route and do that. But there were a couple called Kathy and Anne, and these two ladies, they would have been in their 60s. Well, actually, one of them was probably in their 80s. I think it was mother and daughter. They were absolutely beautiful. We sat on the side of the road, giggling like loons on this wall, and they saw me and approached me and said, "What are you doing?" Broad Scottish accent, I can't do that. "What are you doing?" And I sort of explained I was riding from John O'Groats to Land's End. They thought I was mad, of course. But I said, "Well, what are you giggling about, ladies?" And they went, "We've just stopped traffic to go and play on the beach." And I just went, and this was the busiest road in this part of Scotland. And I said, "Well, what did you do that for?" She went, "What else is a Monday afternoon for, hen?" And I was just like, perfect. So, you know, and I met them at a time when I was really feeling low. I didn't ask for help. I didn't ask for kindness or friendship, but I got it. I got it because I opened a conversation and they opened a conversation with me. And that 5 minutes was beautiful. And I got on my way, and that lasted for the next 2 hours for me. I was just laughing about Kathy and Anne sitting on the side of the wall, giggling like schoolgirls, you know, in their later years. And it was, you know, those are the stories. That's what I take most from it.
Amazing. That really kind of hit me in my heart there. That story, I love that. Really nice. Try not to sponge my eyeliner. I love stories like that, and that's what life's all about. It's the people, isn't it? It's the people around us and who we interact with and all of that stuff. Without people, it's nothing.
Oh God, you're so right. Yeah. And it was amazing. And I wrote a journal every day, and it was so hard to fit it onto an A4 page. I mean, I was you know, carried everything with me, so I didn't take reams of paper. What I did was I had a map for every day. So there's sort of map on the front, a few instructions that I kept in my front pannier, so I could read the map when the garment didn't, you know, my tool didn't work. And so I just flipped that over and wrote on the back of there. That was about an A4 piece of paper would be enough. Oh, my writing got so small. to fit everything in, and all the names of the people that I met, and you know, just little notes. So I've got beautiful kind of journal really from it. So
amazing. I'm trying to think of the word. Oh, I can't think of the word. Anyway, what an amazing
yeah,
it's a
little memory, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. No, that's going to bug me now. Anyway, so just to say hello to Sharon, who's also joined us. Thanks for being on the call, guys. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments, and I'll ask Nicky in a second if there's anything that you've got a burning desire to find out about from her journey or anything that she's been talking about. So that was the best thing, was about the people. So is there something that taken from it that's actually changed your life or changed who you are since you did it?
Oh wow, again, there's a lot of things actually, but I think I'm a braver person, and I have a belief now that anything is possible, that I can do anything, and it's more about fixing on what I want to do and, you know, taking those steps. And I know that if I'm stuck now with something, because I still get stuck, I just hook back into that journey and say, well, if you were on your bike right now and you were facing this, what would you do? So it's given me that kind of, well, that was brave. Now I need to be braver, and that's okay. And I can feel stuck for a day or two on something, potentially, you know, because we all do, around our business, around our family, around, you know,
all sorts of things.
Yeah. But I now know how to take that deep breath and kind of move into the space that I need to be in to make the step, to take the step. And so, yeah, it's that tool, that strategy for, you know, stepping into more brave things that I want to do. So, yeah, I think that's it.
It sounds like almost like in a game you kind of unlocked a new level. Moving.
Yeah, that's a perfect way. Yeah, that's a perfect way of describing it. Yeah.
So what would you say to anyone who's watching, who's thinking about they've got this thing, they've thought, oh, I've always wanted to do that, but they haven't quite got around to doing it? What would you say to that person?
Oh, it is the usual thing. Just do it. Because actually the making the decision is the hardest part. So really search your soul for why you want to do it. And if this is a burning desire that, you know, in 20 years' time, when you're sitting in your rocking chair, you know, that rocking chair moment, and you go, I wish I had, that's too late. So now, the time is absolutely now. I could have put it off and said, I'll wait for whoever, you know, to go with me so I wasn't alone. Or, like I did, I could just think, what if? What if I did it on my own? What would that mean? And I think that's it. It's making the decision, and then it's thinking about what the next steps are after that, and make them small. My first step was actually to start exploring. Well, you know, the most exciting bit was, well, where would I go? What would I want to see on my journey from Land's End, from John O'Groats to Land's End? And that's where I started. It wasn't with the big plan. It wasn't with, oh my God, I've got to take all this kit. It wasn't with, oh my God, how do I fix a puncture in the pouring rain in the middle of Scotland? Those were the things that I needed to do later. The first bit was, where do I want to ride through? And I had some key areas. There was a certain place in Scotland I wanted to make sure that I did, part of the west coast of Scotland, because it's just stunning. I wanted to go through the Lake District. That was a real kind of holiday moment from my youth, and I wanted to ride through the Lake District. And I knew that there were places I wanted to go past in Cornwall, because I have friends down there, and I wanted to finish my day. Well, I wanted to start my last day from my pet friend's pasty shop.
Oh, nice.
So I had to get there to do one of the longest, hardest days in order to do that. But as it turned out, but those are the kind of the three key things. So by focusing on that, I started to think about the good stuff that was going to come out of it. And then, yes, of course, you get into the, oh my goodness, how much have I got to train? How much am I going to have to organise? I'm going to be on my own. But those come later.
Yeah.
And by that time, I'd already set that's what I'm doing. So yeah, I think that's
great. And I the first thing I always have when is to break it down into small steps. That's the first thing, which might be just switching on your computer and searching on Google for something.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I'm a bit of a kid. I'd love to bought a new bike, but actually mine I couldn't afford a new bike, so I went with panniers. So I went full on pannier shopping. I'm going to go start about it here. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but it was one of those things that any bike shop I went past, oh, they got panniers. And so, yeah, you do. Just do whatever it is that first step of what you love.
Yeah, and any action towards what you're aiming for is it's a message to yourself, isn't it? It's a message to those thoughts and fears saying, actually, I am doing this, regardless of what you say to me.
You're right. And in terms of the training, I did every day, I would say to myself, I am training for John O'Groats to Land's End. And whether it was a rest day, I was still training, because rest is part of my training. It was so important. Whatever I ate, I was always eating in order to be able to train my body to cycle 1,000 miles. Everything I did every day, I was doing something towards my goal. And it could have been, something small. So resting was important. So I was still doing something toward my goal. And that was a key element of my kind of process, I guess.
I think that's actually brilliant, because a lot of the time, especially those of us with our own businesses, we tend to not allow ourselves time off to rest. It's kind of like we feel like we should be doing something all the time. And mums, oh my gosh, how often do we say, oh God, I shouldn't be sitting here looking at my phone, having a cup of tea, I should be doing something else. And actually recognizing that the rest is part of working towards the goal. That's absolutely brilliant. I love that.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, rest is part of it.
Yeah, and it reminded me of that quote. There's a book by an Olympic rower that I've mentioned a few times, and I can't remember his name, but it's Will It Make the Boat Go Faster? So their team was told everything they do, they have to ask themselves, will it make the boat go faster? And if having a rest day is going to make the boat go faster, then yes. So it's that bringing that focus back to actually what will really make the boat go faster, what will really help you towards your goal. I love it. It's brilliant.
Steve Redgrave, that probably was.
It might have been. I'm not sure, but I need to look it up so that I can actually quote him properly.
Yeah, probably.
Fantastic. So if people want to find out more about what you did, where can they go?
So I have a Facebook page, which is My Fit Life Coaching. From there, you can access the the joggle blogs, where I've sort of written about the first 6 days. In fact, actually, the website itself. So again, My Fit Life Coaching, and then go to the blog page, and in there are 6, maybe even 7 blogs about the journey itself. And you can then look at some of the clips that I've started to put them onto YouTube now as well. So you can go and see. I think the messy middle is there actually, day 3. So you can see me shouting at the mountain. Oh yeah.
If you could put all the links in the comments for everyone, that'd be brilliant, Nikki, and then maybe answer any questions that people have. That'd be great.
Be delighted.
Thank you. Just have a look. I've noticed there's a couple of comments. So Carol was saying that she can definitely relate, and you're amazing, Nikki, which is absolutely true. And then I'll just show this second comment that she said. Yeah, she says that she's a shocker for saying I should be doing something. So that sounds like that's a really good tip for her as well. So absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So guys, if you've got any questions for Nikki that we haven't answered here, check out everything that she's going to share in the comments, or ask your questions in the comments, and I know she's more than happy to answer them.
And I think, Cheryl, you're right. I should is such a demotive part of our language. And I think if you look to, what I try and do is replace I should with I am learning, or I am investigating or I am researching.
Yeah.
Because if I say, oh, I should be looking at bed and breakfasts, I'm never going to get around to doing it. And I never did, funnily enough, because the language just wasn't right for my head. So I'm like, I am looking through bed and breakfast, all of a sudden puts into that action-oriented focus. And so you then go and do it. And you kind of go, oh, it's try it. Let me know how it goes, but try it. Try I amming rather than I should-ing.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Nicky. I wish we had longer, but I know you've got to get off to networking. And so have fun at that and say hi from me, because I'm bound to be people I know.
Oh, they will be.
I look forward to seeing you really, really soon at maybe Laptop Friday or something. But again, heartfelt thanks for your time today and sharing your story.
Oh no, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Cindy, for having me. I've really enjoyed myself. So yeah, and I'll carry on and answer any questions if they come up. So yeah, I'd be delighted to.
All right, I'll speak to you soon. Right, I'm going to take you off the screen and I'll just say goodbye to everyone. Bye. So guys, that was Feel Good Friday. Oh gosh, I'm losing my voice now. That was Feel Good Friday. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do please like and share. Tag your friends, because it's an absolutely brilliant interview. I've loved it so much. Thank you all for your comments. Do ask as many questions as you want to, because I know that Nicky is really happy to come back and answer them. And do check out her blog, because there's all of her stories going to be on there, and it's just a brilliant read. So thank you very much. Next week I'll be talking to Carol, who's here commenting today, and asking her all about how coaching's helped her business, and interestingly how helping her to give up sugar permanently has had an impact on her business as well. So if you're interested in that and you want to find out how that happened, then make sure you're here next Friday at 9:30. And otherwise, have a fabulous day, and I'll speak to you really, really soon. Bye. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up so that I know. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. If you've already subscribed, it might be worth clicking the notification bell so that you get notified every single time I upload. And if you want to join in live with Feel Good Friday, come over to my page, Feel Good Coach on Facebook. I'll leave a little thing here so that you can see where to find me, and the link will also be down in the description box. Join me at 9:30 every Friday for a live video, interviews, tips, masterclasses, all kinds of stuff. And head over there and have a look if you want to join in the conversation. So next time I am talking to the lovely Carol Sharapanoff, who is one of my clients, and I'll be asking her all about how her business has been helped by working with a coach, and also some interesting things about how some of the personal work we've done has impacted on her business. So if you want to find out more about that, then either look out for the video here on YouTube next week, or join me on Friday and join in live. So thanks for watching, have a fabulous day, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Bye.